Facebook. It's your friendly, nosy neighbors, Jessica Cardin.
And Chad Murdoch.
And thanks for joining us today on this chilly, wonderful morning.
Beautiful December day.
I love this. I love it. And hey, if you love local businesses like we love local businesses, please like and follow our page, and you can keep in the know on all things going on in Southeast Idaho with local businesses.
And if you love real estate like we love real estate, go to our page, Murdoch Manwaring Realty Group at Keller Williams, and like it, follow it, and let us know if there's anything we can do to help you, teach you about this awesome market that we have.
That's right. If you're looking to sell your home, man, we would love more homes to sell.
Oh, lowest inventory in history by far.
It is crazy. So give us a call. We'd love to help you sell your home. All right, so today we're down here kind of near our office.
Yeah.
We're just right down here on First Street.
Yep.
We're right around the corner on Holmes and First Street. And we are at a really cool place that I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to learn more about.
I remember when they bought the building. I remember watching them rehab the building. I drive by it all the time.
Yep.
And I've never really known. We're on the corner of First Street and Higbee.
That's right.
So.
That's right. And we are at Elite Healthcare ResHab.
Residential Habilitation.
Now we've messed it all up.
Yeah, we messed it all up.
I'm excited that we're going to clarify that. I had no idea what that really meant, and I'm excited to find more.
I really wanted to say, yeah, okay.
ResHab. I was trying to sound real
Elite
cool.
Residential Habilitation. ResHab.
ResHab. I mean, that's all. So let's talk to somebody with Elite Healthcare.
Jay Dee.
Jay Dee over here. What, Jay Dee? It's going to be really sunny.
Yeah, it's a bright sunny day.
Come into the shade over here.
Perfect.
All right, Jay Dee, and we're outside, and we're trying to kind of keep apart for you guys, so that we can be socially distanced. So, Jay Dee, tell us who you are.
Yeah, so I'm Jay Dee Miller. I do all the participant intake coordination here. I've pretty much been here since the get-go. I have quite a few people, a couple siblings in my family with disabilities. I've been working with special needs and Special Olympics kind of my whole life, and so it's something I'm really passionate about, and that's kind of the core focus of what we do here.
All right, so help us understand. What is ResHab? What is residential habilitation?
Yeah, sure. So a lot of people think like we do what's called kind of supported living or independent living, not necessarily supported living, but people say, well, is that a group home? Certified family home, is that an assisted living? I've heard of those, but really it's not. It's totally different. It's a way to help someone with a disability to become as independent as possible, to accomplish goals that they would like to accomplish. And we're there to support them and help them do that.
In their own home?
Yes, in their own home. So it's not a facility setting, it's not an assisted living. And the great thing is there's only 7 states in the entire nation that have a program like this. Wow. Idaho just happens to be one of them.
So, okay, I have a question. So who is the client that uses this service? Is it someone with a physical disability? How does that work?
Sure. So it's kind of all across the board. It can be physical. There can be different diagnoses of autism or Asperger's, cerebral palsy, stuff like that. But really, some of our clients are very low functioning and need complete total assistance on stuff. And many of our clients are so high functioning, you could meet them on the street and not even know they have a disability. Wow. Which is sad because, well, it's good and sad. The sad part being that, every average day people meet them, have no idea that they have a disability and can really affect them in a negative way because there are things that they don't understand or don't quite get. And it affects them negatively in that way.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So, okay, if someone feels like they want to investigate whether or not this is something that they could use, because a lot of people don't know these resources.
Sure.
How do they get a hold of you, or what do they do to find out more?
Yeah, so they can just call the office number or even look up our Facebook page or our website.
What is that office number for us?
It's 208-497-0197. And if they call and talk to the office manager up front, Rebecca, she'll transfer them to me. Like I said, I have a couple siblings with special needs, and so my family does some certified family home, traditional, non-traditional. I know about DDAs, which is probably jumble words that people don't understand, but if you're in the community, you know what these words mean, or residential habilitation group home. I kind of know all the different options, and so I don't necessarily think ResHab's the best fit for everyone, but I'm a great person to talk to because I can help steer people in the right direction of what's best for them, their child, and their family, in getting the disability
consultation.
services.
I mean, if they wonder if this is right for you, they'll they'll find out if they call you, and if it is, you might be able to help them in a huge way. But if it's not, then you might be able to point them in a different direction, right?
Yes, it's 100% true. Like I said with my siblings, my youngest brother, ResHab isn't the greatest fit. And so he does something totally different, but my sister, who's higher functioning, she absolutely loves it, and she comes to all of our activities and stuff like that. And so I'm happy to talk to anyone, no matter what you're looking at. And most people, you know, when your kid transitions out of high school at 18, they have no idea the different options. They have no idea what's next. It's a lot of pressure and stress on a parent or guardian.
Yeah.
For someone who wants to be more independent,
Yes.
but we don't know how to get someone.
Well, it's
so
a
is there any
lonely
age
path to
group?
figure it out.
How old, how young?
So we're only 18 plus. You have to be 18 plus. And I help make it easy on how to get qualified. I know every step. I've done this. I could do it in my sleep. And you know, there's, sorry, I forgot what you asked
Oh,
now.
age group. Is there any like limit on ages?
Oh,
is
no.
there
Oh,
too old,
that's
too
what I was
young?
going to say is, I mean, we have, besides being totally independent, though, that's what I was getting at. I wanted to say something about that. Besides being totally independent, we have some that maybe the parents can't handle the child at home because physical aggression, behaviors, you know, medical stuff. And so
Well, they're strong.
all of our
They get
staff
strong,
is, yeah,
so.
and all of our staff is trained to handle that. And so that might be another reason why they would want to use a ResHab agency.
Interesting. Well, you said activities. Can we go in and kind of take a look what's going on in here?
Yeah, sure, I'd love to. Come
Cool.
on in.
By the way, I love the building.
Yeah.
Are these units here a part of you, or is that separate from you? I've always wondered that.
They don't right now, but they could be.
Okay.
And yeah, they're we own those. So
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha.
we're just looking. It takes the right individual. You know, you can't
Yeah.
have just anyone. So come on in.
Thank you. Oh, it's significantly warmer in here.
Yeah, it is warmer. So this is our calendar of events. This is some of the things that we got going on, and you know, we pay a lot of money to be able to have access to different things in the community. So we have passes to the zoo, to Bear World, to movie theaters, to you know, the aquarium. All over the place, gyms even, just so that we don't want our participants to be bored. We want them to be able to work on their goals. We want to be able to help them get a job or do an activity.
He goes out of his way to get us to make sure we have a good time and have fun. It's a bummer with this darn coronavirus, but before we had the coronavirus, Keith he was overly generous. He spent way more money on us than we probably deserved.
So how long have you been involved, Cody, in this?
That's unfortunately I've been
Quite a while. You've
been-
been here since the beginning, pretty much.
Yeah,
haven't
I
you?
was one of the first clients.
One of the veterans.
For having a disability, Cody is very independent. You know, he loves
Yeah,
being on his own.
I hold the record at the LDS hospital for the worst brain scan they've ever seen.
Wow.
Not really a record I wanted to hold.
That is a record of something.
They just haven't taken Kaylin or my dad yet, or I wouldn't hold the record anymore. I always tell my friends that's the only reason I hold the record is because they haven't taken theirs yet.
Cody, what would you tell someone that maybe doesn't know about ResHab or their different options? What would be your suggestion if someone's totally new?
If someone was looking for a place to live or something?
Yeah, a place or just different. They have a disability and they're looking for different options.
Elite is way better than any of the other places because Elite is so caring, and Elite goes above and beyond the calling of.
What kind of things do they help you with?
We have awesome get-togethers for holidays and everything. And we used to be able to have activities every Wednesday here at the office, and we would get together, and they're all really close to us. I mean, even the secretary at the front desk is awesome to me. I mean, one of my biggest goals is I would like to be a motivational speaker. I have a book written and it got published, and I made TED Talks. I spoke for TED Talks.
Wow.
And I was supposed to do some more public speaking, but because of the stupid coronavirus, it hasn't happened yet. But
Wow.
I've spoke a lot already. I spoke at BYU Idaho at one of the devotionals, in front of all the BYU Idaho students, and that was pretty nerve-wracking. There was a big audience.
That's pretty neat.
Cody also wrote his own book about his story and what happened to him and how it affected him.
So if you ever
what's the title of the book, Cody? Let him know.
After the Miracle.
After the Miracle.
If you ever get really bored, it's a good book to buy.
That's it. Cody, what's your last name? Who's the author of After the Miracle?
My parents actually wrote it. I just lived the experience.
Oh wow, very cool.
So After the Miracle, find it on Amazon probably.
Well, thanks, Cody, for sharing with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you get one, let me know, and I'll meet you down here at the office and I'll autograph it for you.
Very cool.
Nice.
But
that's awesome.
if I autograph it for you, then it's worth millions. So I don't want you selling it.
I imagine. Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Cody. That's awesome. Appreciate you.
Cool.
Well, I like to pretend like these guys like me a little bit.
Cody's a great
you
guy.
do.
Well, let's come back here, and if you guys have some more questions, you're welcome.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks, Cody.
Don't forget that.
This is a great.
Oh my gosh.
There you go.
Great.
Yep.
I love the facility.
Yeah,
Very
it's
bright and fun.
Our owner's an interior. He majored in interior design.
Ah.
So that was one of
It's
his
very
majors.
homey.
Yeah.
So,
Very homey. So I
have a
have,
seat.
as I'm thinking about questions as we go through this, thinking about who does this, because a lot of times people don't know their resources.
Right.
So in this, if someone says, "Hey, I don't even know if this is the right thing,"
Sure.
how independent and how would be someone that would still use the service? I think of someone like even with Asperger's,
Oh yeah,
right?
no, we have. I mean, people from like I said, the lowest end of the spectrum to the highest end of the spectrum on as far as capabilities. And and our motto, one of the things we follow is we focus on what people can do, not what they can't. And so we have, like I said, we have people that are completely in a wheelchair. Maybe they only have use of one arm. They need help with bathing, showering, getting dressed, bathroom, all of that stuff. But we also have some participants that are so high functioning that they've had a job. Most of our people, we try to help them either through vocational rehab or through in-house providing jobs that they do. They're not full-time or part, they're not huge. It may be 5 hours a week or 10 hours a week, but something just so that everyone can feel just like they're just as good as everyone else. They can do everything anyone else can, but they just need to believe it in themselves. And so we have some participants that have been working with different companies for 10, 15 plus years. They can drive. They want to be in relationships and get married if they can, and just like any other person. And so that's why I say it's hard to even know if you meet someone in the public.
Yeah.
You might not have any idea that they're using services like this, but we're just trying to help them get those 3 extra yards to become better.
Basically, the training to help them live as much of a life that they want as possible.
Yes, and there is no time. If you do sign up for a program like ours, there's no time requirement, restriction. You could be with us for 6 months. You could be with us for 6 years or longer, whatever it is.
How long has Cody been with you?
So we've only been in business for just over 3 years now,
Okay.
and I think Cody's been here almost the whole time.
Okay.
So maybe just the first few months that he wasn't.
So how much does this cost?
Sure. So that's a great question.
Yeah, because that's what the
hear
first
this
thing
and-
you think of, right? You don't use resources because you're worried about the cost.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier was so great about Idaho, because so many states, I mean, you go to Utah, they have almost zero options for someone with disability. I shouldn't say zero. They have options, but it's extremely limited. Even my family has thought about moving there a couple times, but just they would lose all their benefits basically for my brother. And so Idaho is really awesome, and I don't know if it will last forever. Luckily, the government in Idaho has given this opportunity to us, but one of 7 states, and so Medicaid actually pays for basically all of the services. No matter what you get, if you have a disability, Medicaid basically pays for all. The only thing that a participant pays for is for their rent and utilities at whichever home that they're living in. And so, they can choose to live wherever they're at. It's getting harder and harder with the way, the housing market is, and rent prices is just kind of going up and up. And so it's nice for them. I wish we could have seen a home, because that was one of the first reasons why we started this agency. Not the only reason, but one of the main reasons is we wanted people to not live in houses that weren't quality houses. We want them to be in really nice homes. You know, everyone has their own, even if they have a roommate, they have their own bed, their own bathroom. The only thing they share is the kitchen and living room area. They're not old homes. They're new or brandly renovated, you know, and just really beautiful places. And we want it to feel, we want you to feel like it is your home and not like you're in a facility where you have a staff coming in. You don't want to feel like you're in a facility. You want to decorate it how you want it. You want your room how you want it. You want it to be peaceful and calm when you go home. And so
You want it to be home.
Yeah.
So if someone is not able to work and maybe they're on Social Security or maybe they live with their family, do they still have to have some sort of rent payment, or is a rent payment required if they live at home and have the support of their family? Or how does that work? Do they have to be independent, or? There
is options to live at home, live at your own home, maybe live with family, and we can provide services to you in your own home. But it is a little bit more difficult to grow and progress in that situation just because it's a different environment, you know, that could be positive, but also could be negative. And we've experienced both when we've done that. We've gone into other people's homes where it's been great, family's been supportive. We've been to some that aren't so great, and the family was really hurting their progress.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to move out or whatever, for whatever reason. And so you can go both ways.
What if they're on disability and have Social Security and they're paying their rent through those funds, or let's say they're approved for Idaho housing?
Yeah.
I mean, that works.
Yes,
so they can,
yes.
That's
so and most of our housing is quite a bit cheaper. I mean, it's for these beautiful homes that are usually about 2,000 square feet or bigger. You only pay $500 for your rent.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty unheard. I mean, you're going to have a hard time finding a one bedroom.
Well, yeah, you
for
can't
that
even.
price.
Yeah.
That's, so it's a big benefit to the people that utilize it, and so I would just recommend, if you have an option, if you're on disability, that's a big key indicator that you might actually qualify for a program like this. And so that would be a great opportunity to get a hold of me or a different agency in town and just see if it's possible.
So how does the housing work? Of course, that's being in real estate. How does that work on, what if they don't have housing? Can you help with that? Do they need to have already found their housing? Do you guys provide housing? How does the housing work?
Yeah, so for the most part, we will take care of the housing situation almost every time. We'll either find them something that works or provide something. There are different levels within ResHab of the level of quality of care that you provide for, which the state determines. We don't get to determine that. So if you qualify for the very lowest level of services, then the state asks you to find your own housing, and then we provide services in that situation. Which is a whole different aspect, but for the most part, 90% of the time, we will help provide that housing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you own some of the properties that the people live in?
Yeah, so we, ResHabs didn't used to be allowed to until just recently, because as you can imagine, I mean, if you're someone with a disability, you go through a property management company or something, you have no work history, or maybe you have bad credit, you know, your income is whatever, $700 or $800 a month, whatever Social Security is. And so property management companies will turn people down. It's not like they're doing it, you know, on purpose, but they have guidelines that they have to follow.
Well, and if you're charging $500 a month rent, which is way under market value, they're going to try to get more rent too.
Sure,
I mean,
sure.
that's part of their job.
And so
doesn't fit in their model.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And so I'm not trying to say anything bad against property management companies. We've used some awesome ones. There's some great ones here in town. If you have a home and you're looking to find renters that will pay for, you know, your rent will be paid 100% of the time. Long-term renters, damages, if there are any damages, we take care of them. We repair them. You don't, as the owner. It's a great, I would reach out to agencies like ours and say, hey, we have open homes that we could use some tenants. And
so do they have to accept that lower than market rent?
No, they can.
How does that work?
Yeah, it will be paid. Whatever you're like, if you have a home and you're asking $1,200-$1,300 a month, you pay the $1,300. The participant pays $550. We have either a roommate or we'll cover the difference or find whatever. But your rent as the owner or the landlord will never be missed.
So as someone who's
it's not $550. You're not collecting
Right.
$550. You're collecting which is why it's a great option.
Yeah.
It's just
and then you make sure the rent gets paid.
Yes,
you have a
yes,
rent-paying tenant
100%.
that you're not worried about.
Yep.
That
So
is a really cool
our
thing.
participants will pay us, and we'll make sure that their rent is paid.
That's very cool.
So every year we hear a story usually of, somebody super generous who's, they'll even donate a house to a charity or something like that. I mean, are you guys in the market of needing more housing? Are you struggling there? 'Cause,
No, we are. We're
end of the year. I mean, people are looking, it's not a lot, but every year there's people that donate homes for charitable purposes. So
That's a great question. I would say the two things that we are looking for is, yes, more homes. We're growing so fast almost that we can't keep up. And on top of that is, if you are a business owner, our participants, like I said, they just want to be treated the same as everyone else.
yeah,
They would love if you would let them come into their business. They would clean your bathrooms. They would greet people. They would sort things. They would vacuum. They would do whatever for 2 hours a week. It would make their entire week, month.
It's a great idea.
But it's hard to find businesses that are open to that.
Right.
And like I said, we use vocational rehab, but they're so busy. It's a long 3 to 6 month process, and even then it might not be successful. So if you're a business owner or a manager, and sometimes participants they'll even do voluntary work. They'll do it for free if they just want to be able to meet people and smile and have fun.
I think a lot of people just don't know that's an option.
Sure.
And so how many people do you have right now that you would say would want a job like that, a few hours a week, that might just be the highlight of their week?
We probably have 15 to 20
Okay.
participants right now that
Okay.
would love to do something like that.
And give some other ideas. So you'd said, do
Yeah,
some cleaning.
and you'll notice when you go
greeting.
into some businesses in town. Subway or Five Guys. They'll have a participant, usually from our company or a different company, that's they'll just greet people at the door, or they'll wipe tables down.
Yeah.
They're just an added benefit
Yeah.
to the company. But they'll do pretty much anything. So yeah, cleaning. They can. Like I said, they're very high functioning. A lot of people
Yeah.
are very high functioning, so they can do pretty much anything. But we'll give some in-house jobs. Have people come, set up Christmas lights. They'll vacuum the floors. Clean, wipe down stuff. In the summer, it's a lot easier. Well, if you want your lawn mowed, we have some guys that just love working with their hands. They'll build birdhouses, they'll mow lawns, they'll do whatever. They just
shovel walks.
Yeah, shovel driveways, and they would love something like that. So
It's a great. How much would they need to be paid? How much is it normal? Are those normal wages to be paid? Minimum wage? How if a business is thinking about
anything, if you're an actual business, I think you have to stay within your legalities.
Right.
I think you have to pay at least minimum wage, but I also think that the government does have some type of either a tax write-off or a refund benefit to business owners that participate in that. I know Kroger companies are huge. Like you go to Fred Meyer's or Smith's, usually they'll have 2 or 3 people with disabilities right now. You go to our Fred Meyer's right now, I guarantee there's at least 2 or 3 people with disabilities that are working over there.
I just didn't know if a business needs to follow within guidelines, or they can just pay like a normal
Just
employee.
normal payroll and
I don't think I don't know if they necessarily have to be on payroll, because I know, like I said, they will, not that they do it for free and you take advantage of them, but they would love to just do it as a service opportunity even, So if you're a business owner or manager thinking about something like this, give me a call. We'll have one of our guys. It can start as just a chance. We'll give them a day or two where they just do it for service for an hour or so, or a couple hours, or voluntary. And if you think it's going to be helpful to your business and you like the person, it's a good fit, then they would love it if they had a job there.
man, I think a lot of people would love to help in that way, and it's
Just kind of quite don't know how to approach that.
A video like this kind of gets that word out, because I think our community is so awesome, so giving. They want to help. They just don't know what the options are.
Yeah.
And we get so busy that we just don't pursue or think about it that much.
Sure.
So,
It's very cool.
Yeah,
It's a
that's
very
awesome.
cool service. What are we
Yeah.
missing? I feel like there's something we haven't talked about with your services. Anything else people need to know?
We're big proponents of Special Olympics. Corona's been hard just because we do so many, besides all those, added benefits we pay for with the movies and stuff like that. We do weekly activities. We do budgeting classes, pay services. We'll help people get night classes. Maybe, we'll do weekly art classes over here where, people can do arts and crafts. We do some help people with their relationships with family and stuff. We offer medication assist. So, we'll provide all do the med providing or assisting participants.
Because that is a worry with someone independent, is
Oh, yeah.
making sure their medications, if they're independent, how do they make sure those are taken correctly? That's a
Yes.
really
Payee services is another big thing. That there's a couple other places that offer that. We don't charge for our payee services at all. It's totally free. But we've helped people that, that you're on disability, you have hardly any money. We've helped them pay off thousands and thousands in debt just by being their payee.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They come in every week to get their check. They go over their budget with the payee on this is what I want to save, this is what I have to pay, this is how much I have left over. So it's great for them to learn
Wow.
the value of a dollar and how the budgeting and saving works.
And sometimes that's hard as a family member to be the person talking about that and being so involved, and it can be,
It's so much
Yeah.
pressure and stress.
yeah.
If you have a child or or family member or even friend that you're helping, it's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah.
And this is one of the reasons why this
A lot
is
of pressure.
awesome.
A lot of people don't understand. Most people will not understand
No.
what you're going through at all.
No. And people feel guilty. That's another thing. People feel guilty sometimes using services like this. But the great thing is, like, for instance, Cody, he has his own home. He's very independent. But his parents, they'll come over and see him at his home. He'll cook them dinner. They'll hang out, or he'll go over to their house. They still get to keep that family or relationship. And the parents said at first they didn't want him to move out. He wanted to move out and be more independent. And it was stressful. It was worrisome. They felt guilty. But they said from their marriage has been absolutely awesome because they've been able to focus on them, but also still keep their relationship with their son, who they love very much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just been great.
Really cool. Yeah.
One last thing that I want to mention, and then whatever else you want to mention, but I think, again, our community, they want to help. I think we have people with huge hearts. What are needs that you guys have? You had mentioned that you have budgeting classes. What are some things, because we have so many, every industry is represented in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
And so what help could the community do in reaching out and trying to help you help the people you serve?
Awesome. Thank you for asking that. The first thing that comes to mind is we do have some participants that have zero family at all. They have no anything, and it's Christmas. And so it's always sad,
Yeah.
So if you have something you want to donate or give, it'd be great.
Or spend time with.
Clothing, a coat, come hang out, be a friend. So that's the first thing. The second thing is staffing. So we have probably 150 employees
Wow.
here for our participants. And if you love people with disabilities, this might be your dream job. And you don't need to work here full time. You don't need to work here 40 hours a week. If you are, a mother with children and you have, one day you would love to work, we'd love to hire you for one day and have you come work one day a week and be with our participants. If you're going to school and you're taking classes and you're trying to supplement going to school, but you love people and you care about people, we'd love to have you. It doesn't matter what your background is, as long as you love people with disabilities, this is a great place to work.
Wow.
And we'd love to have you come interview, and that's our two biggest needs
Cool.
right now. That's a
More
great question.
people and more help. Is there like a list? Because I think people respond better when there's action items, Is there a list of needs for like Christmas presents and things like that some of your people
the
need,
biggest
or-
thing is clothing,
Clothing,
because they
okay.
are unlimited budgets. So,
So call here and reach out. if
yeah,
you wanna do
because
something.
when you get your Social Security, check,
Yeah.
you don't want to spend your money on cleaning supplies and clothing.
Yeah.
You want to spend it on you don't have a whole ton, so you want to spend it on good food or things
Yeah.
you enjoy.
Fun
Yeah.
stuff.
So sometimes their food can get raggedy, or sorry, not their food, their clothing. So coats, clothing.
All sizes, everything?
Yep, for males and females.
How many people? So if you have 150 employees, how many people are they serving? That's
Yeah,
That's a lot.
we have around 40 participants right now.
okay.
We don't have a goal to get very much bigger. We're
Okay.
kind of at our stopping area
Yeah.
for clientele, or there will be a wait list.
Mm-hmm.
It's just around the corner, just because we don't want to get so big and that our level of quality declines.
Yeah.
And so when you got 150 employees, we want to know all of our employees. We want to know all of our participants. We want to know all of our parents and guardians. We don't want to lose any of that connection. And so we're getting to that point that we're going to kind of stop growing or have a wait list. Just because we don't want to lose that level. So
that's what happens with growth. Growth's a crazy thing.
And it's a good thing. Like I said, when I started, we had eight participants, and I've been here for just over 2 years now, and we have so we've gotten almost 30 plus participants in that 2 years. So it's been pretty.
Well, I mean, what an amazing service.
Oh yeah.
What an amazing that I can only imagine the relief that this would provide to a parent who has an adult child wanting to be more independent, but not knowing how to help them do that.
Yeah. And like I said, we're not perfect. We still make a ton of mistakes. There's other agencies that might be a better fit for you. There's other programs that might be a better fit for you and your kid. But I'm more than happy to talk to anybody about any of those things, And we also have a sister company that's an assisted living, that's a memory care facility. So an assisted living might even be a good option for you. But if you don't have a point of contact, you go to the Department of Health and Welfare to try to get your information, and it's hard to go from there.
And it's easy to feel alone. And so bottom line is, if they have questions, call you.
All right. If they want to make a donation, can they just drop it off? How do they do that?
Oh man, that would be great for our guys, especially with Christmas. We just at the front desk.
Okay, give us your address.
It's 403 First Street.
Okay.
We're over here by Leo's place, and apparently your guys' I didn't know.
Yeah, we're just right on the corner of Wellington Homes.
Nice and close.
That's right. We're neighbors. So in that, if they're looking, should they call in and say, hey, or just say what kind of things? Do they need to be cleaned and washed and
preferably and some if you're looking to if you maybe don't have clothes or you're not sure on sizes, beds are a big thing because a lot of our people don't have. Well, they have beds now, but our new participants coming in usually don't have anything. And so we'll help them get a bed, we'll help them get a dresser, we'll help get a TV. So if you're getting rid of anything like that, they really like, video games, they like RC cars, race cars, they like puzzles, they like, going to the movies. There's all sorts of stuff, but those are just some examples.
Love that.
Well, thanks for all you do.
Yeah.
It's a huge service for our community and, the heroes that go unnoticed many times. I mean, how many people drive down First Street every day?
And just don't even.
Well, what's funny is I love to look at it. It's such a cheering building. I've always thought, what a great little place that is, and I had no idea.
Well, that's thanks to our owner. He's got a keen eye, but it's been awesome. I love it. And I should give a thanks or a shout out to all of our staff. They are just, in my opinion, especially as having siblings with special needs, they are top tier individuals. I think they're living angels on earth, and I have nothing bad to say about any of them. They're great people, and we're lucky to have those people. And our participants are just the same, living angels on earth. So
that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, you guys, we're shouting out a challenge. I'm going to put all the contact information in here. We need. If you have an extra couple dollars and want to pick up a couple extra clothes, or you've got some things in great shape, maybe get this would be a great place to make a donation and make somebody else's life a little bit better.
Yep.
It's awesome. All right. This has been Jessica Carden
and Chad Murdoch.
Your nosy neighbors, keeping you
in the know.
Nosy neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Nosy neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Nosy neighbors, keeping you in the know.
The Nosy Neighbors, keeping you in the know.
Hey guys, we're here with the Nosy Neighbors, and we're keeping you in the know.
So the Nosy neighbors keeping you in the know.
The Nosy Neighbors are going to keep you in the know.